Hello, this is RICKY, the Android Guy. Hey guys, today bringing you another episode of Android Weekly. Thank you for joining me. If you are new to the show, this is a show where we not only give you the weekly news in the mobile industry, but we answer all of your questions. So what we're going to do today is first go through the mobile news, then answer the questions that were emailed to me, and then answer the live viewer questions. So if you have a question, please feel free to leave it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it. As well as if you are watching this episode later on, just email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and I will answer all of your questions on next week's episode. Okay, let's go into the news. So first of all, the HTC has been seen everywhere. I mean, this phone is the least well-hidden phone ever. I mean, everyone knows what it looks like. Everyone knows what it can do. We've had a walkthrough of the software, the hardware, just everything. There's no surprises on this phone. And that's not good for HTC because it's just like there's nothing really like wow about it. So let's go through it. First of all, it does have what is going to be dubbed as the Duos camera. And so it does have that, and that will essentially be for not only basically focusing capabilities in low light. So that's what it's going to be for. But we also have all of the hardware features. So on the hardware side, we have all of the features that, for the most part, we expected. So the new HTC One is going to have a 2.3 Snapdragon 801. This is the same one the Sony Xperia Z2 has, except for, I think that one did have a 2.3 as well. And the S5 version, however, is a higher end version of it. It's a 2.5 inch. So it's a little bit more in terms of that. In terms of the gigs on board, it's going to be about the same as the S5. Originally, the S5 was thought that it was going to be 8.5, but then Samsung said, no, it's actually, there was stuff on it, so it's actually going to be around closer to 10, just like most of these have been. So you have 10 gigs of on storage. Big upgrade on here, HTC. Micro SD card. It is back, and that is great to see. It's a 2600 milliamp. I wish it was a little more, especially because this is an LCD screen. I want more milliamps because it doesn't have the power saving capability of LEDs such as the ones that LG and Samsung have. You also have, it's going to upgrade to a 5-inch 1080p screen, which is, of course, again, nice. It's still going to have the Ultra Pixel. So this is really, I mean, I'm kind of disappointed by this in terms of that because it does look like it'll be the same 4 Ultra Pixels in how it operates, which is quite disappointing. However, the main show is going to be this right here. The front camera is a 5 megapixels, so this is going to be big on the selfie portion of the device, and I definitely think that's going to be one of its strong suits. I think they're definitely going to be advertising that a lot. In terms of the Duo camera, I mean, the Ultra Pixel, I'm sorry, it was not good. People can talk to me all they want about how good their HTC camera was. I used it. I compared it side by side. You can see those comparisons in my past videos. It wasn't impressive. I was not impressed by it. And that's just because, although it did give low light, it was fuzzy. So it was like, okay, so I can see more images, essentially, than other devices, but then I couldn't see it clearly. So what was the point of seeing it? It's not any better, really. So that was my big gripe with the Ultra Pixel, and if they still have it, at least if they would have done 8 Ultra Pixel, that would have been better. Get a little more pixel, get a little bit more detail in there, and then you have the lower light being let through, and that's going to be big. In other news, we have Apple and Samsung. Man, are they going at it. So first news on this side is you do have the patent war that is continuing, and Apple is supposedly wanting $40 per Samsung phone, which is insane. Apple themselves at one point asked Samsung $30 per phone for every single one of their devices. So now that they raise it to $40 is just showing that, yeah, essentially they want it because they know Samsung has the money and they just want to cut all their profit, especially because this is $40 per any device, which means that the cheap Samsung phones would have to pay this as well, which $40 would cut into their entire profit margin for a less expensive phone, which doesn't make sense. If it costs Samsung, say, $200 to make a phone and they charge $250 to make it, where's the logic in that? It doesn't make sense. Once of the fact of you take into account shipping and everything else, it doesn't make sense for them to do it. In other news, of course, Samsung has, as I predicted last week, appealed the first patent trial. So they're trying to get it entirely removed, essentially, so that it is never happened. They have not paid anything yet in money. Like I said last week, I told you guys they would not be paying the $929 million, and they have not yet, and they will not. They're going to appeal it, and it's going to go through appeals, and it really is true because of one of the patents have been dismissed already by every court in not only the U.S. but in the world. So there's no reason for this to be allowed to go through. So it does make definite sense. However, one of the big question marks is why Samsung removed one of their patents from the upcoming court. Simply because this patent actually did win in order to ban Apple devices overall, but however, the President Obama did save it and allowed for Apple not to be banned in terms of their products, which was the iPhone 4, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know why they did that. I think it's just kind of like that they wanted to, I guess, not make this trial as long, but I'm not really sure what the reasoning would be to do that. And another video we saw, the Galaxy S5. Someone got their hands on it already, which I don't know how that is, but they got their hands on it, and you can see that they actually tested out the water resistance. Now, again, water resistant means it can go 30 minutes, 3 feet in water, and that's exactly what they try to see if it was perfectly fine and operational while doing this. And they basically sprayed it with water entirely. They used it and everything like that. And it came out fine. So it was a great, interesting look at this, and I definitely was impressed by it. This is a video. It was in Russian, but yeah, it's really an impressive thing that we got to see how water resistant the new device really is. So it's definitely impressive for that purpose. And then we go to the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 is supposedly has been leaked by Sonny Dixon, and the big news about it is that it's going to be very thin. So it's going to be 5.5 millimeters thin. So that's going to be. There are some rumors that it might be called the iPhone Air, kind of like how the iPad Air came out. So it'll be called the iPhone Air, and it's going to have a 2.6 A8 processor chip. Which makes sense. They continue to make the new processor. The really interesting thing is if Samsung's going to make this processor or if TMSC makes processor. My bet is both companies. I think Apple really is going to try to move away from Samsung again on something else, but we all know that they've never been able to move away from their LCDs. LG, Sharp, Sony, all of these companies cannot supply the LCDs for Apple for all of their products, so Samsung is still on board to supply all their products because of that reason, because no one else can keep up with the demand. Also, the interesting thing is they said that they would be calling their new screen the Ultra Retina screen, which is funny because this I completely believe. I completely believe the iPhone 6 will have this. It'll be called a Ultra Retina display, and yet it's only going to have a 389 pixels per inch, which is a 720p display on a 4.7-inch screen, which is a little bit less than the Galaxy S3 from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 2 years ago. So they're going to match a 2-year-old technology that Samsung had. Yeah, this seems like them, but they're going to be calling it an Ultra Retina display. So they're going to explain to you why it's so good for your eyes and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, that sounds like Apple. Completely believe that 100%. And then in other news, it's really kind of weird. Samsung is going to be having an S-Band as well, it looks like. Now, this is some documentation on Sam Mobile's website right up here at the top, and it looks like we see that this is just towards fitness. So this is designed to, check all your calories, your steps, your distances, as well as your all of your sleeping patterns. And it looks like it still can get simple notifications for call and messages. However, though, it looks like it'll just kind of pulsate when it rings, when your phone rings, but not do really anything else. Just kind of a buzz and a light. So they're trying to keep it simple, but basically this is to go directly against Samsung's competitors in fitness, which is like Fitbit, Jawbone Up, Nike FuelBand, and everything like that. This is all that this is for. And you can see it kind of looks like the S Health app that Samsung has, but I'm not sure if this is a different one or it's going to be called an activity tracker app and S Health, so kind of use it together, I guess. And it looks like you'll be able to change the bands and everything like that, but it looks very simple. And I think this will be good if the rumored price point that this said was going to be like, I think, around $99, which would be great. If this goes for $99 and say the Gear Fit that should be coming out goes for like $149 or $199, I think they're going to have a winning combination on their hands. If you're just joining us, make sure to leave your questions in the comments down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can and answer them as we go, as soon as we're done with the weekly questions. All right, so also in the last bit of news, we have a new competitor in the gaming world, and that is Amazon. Supposedly Amazon is coming out with this gaming controller, which will be part of like a home console that has Android on it, which I'm pretty interested in. The only thing I don't really like about it is that it's going to have, I know it's going to have Amazon's version of Android, not true Android, which means I would kind of have to like buy my games all over again, which is very annoying to me on Amazon. Again, I have said time and time and again, I would completely buy Amazon tablets. I love the feel of them. I love the way the last ones looked, but I do not like having none of my Google apps. If they allowed me to have my Google apps, I would recommend Amazon tablets to everyone. Until they do that, though, it's not going to happen. So that was all of the articles for the week. Now let's check out the questions. So now we're going to go through the five viewer questions from the week, and then we're going to answer any questions you guys have in the comment section down below. So please ask any questions in the comment section down below, and then I will answer them. All right. So Lena asked, I have the Galaxy Tab 3. I thought it worked with the all-share casting. How the heck do I connect it to? Sprint says it is possible. Really, they did. But it doesn't seem how don't have the all-share option. Okay, so it's not actually compatible with it. The Galaxy Tab 3 is not compatible with the all-share cast hub. The 7.0 version. Let me clarify that. The 7.0 version, because I do believe the 8.0 and the 10.1 are compatible with it. But it sounds like you got it at Sprint. You got the LTE version, which is the far better one, mind you. But it is not compatible with the all-share adapter at this point. I do not know if Samsung will make it compatible with an update, but as of right now, the all-share cast adapter does not work with the Tab 3 7.0. It just does not work. It's not made for it. Samsung does sell, which I actually have, a direct connection called the MHL 2.0 adapter, and nope, it's not there. Which I don't know if I have handy, but it's an adapter that will allow you, yes I do, okay, this adapter. So this is the adapter. It's called the MHL 2.0 adapter, and it's somewhere. So MHL 2.0 adapter. And you'll find this on Samsung's website, and this plugs into your tablet, and this plugs into your regular HDMI, and that will make it work to any TV or any monitor very easily. However, unfortunately, for wireless capability, it does not work. I actually do not even believe it works with the Chromecast. Again, that was Samsung's entry-level model. I do not believe that it works with it. I could be wrong on the Chromecast, but I know it does not work with the all-share cast adapter as is. So yes. All right, Abby Cole asks, I'm new to the Galaxy and Android. Had an iPhone for years. For more tips and advice would be great. Is there an app that allows you to quickly free chat between Samsung devices like iMessages? Yes, Samsung has their own version and Google has their own version actually. So both are available on Android and iOS. The Samsung version is called Chat On, and Chat On allows you to message with other people, and you can see when they're messaging. They have, instead of emojis, they have something called anicons, which actually are more, I would say they're better than emojis. Emojis are small and kind of thing. I mean, anicons are very big, and I like it, but however, my main one that I use by far, I like Chat On more than WhatsApp. I love Chat On more than WhatsApp. However, just because it's less glitchy, and GroupMe. Oh, GroupMe's horrible. And then the best one though is Hangouts. I use Hangouts by far, and Hangouts is available on Android and on iOS. So your friends that are on iOS, they can still message you through Hangouts, and you can see what they're messaging and everything like that. And on there you have the emojis and everything like that, and you can message all the emojis you want, and both will be able to see it on Hangouts. It doesn't matter again if they have an Android or an iOS device. And what's the other question from this video? I learned something. Can we customize the Samsung keyboard, change the swipe color? No, unfortunately, you cannot change the Samsung keyboard in terms of appearance. However, you can get another keyboard. So if you've seen any of my must-have apps video, the very first app that I always recommend is SwiftKey. SwiftKey is by far the best keyboard app on the market on not just Android, but on all OSs. It is the best keyboard. It is better than the BlackBerry keyboard, than the iOS keyboard, than a Windows keyboard, any keyboard. It is the best. SwiftKey is the best keyboard. There's just no arguing with it. All right. Nasser Yako, I hope I pronounced that correctly, asks, hi, I would like to ask which one is the best, the Note 10.1 2014 edition or the Tab Pro 10.1? This is a very good question, and I don't have the Note 10.1 2014 anymore, but I was thinking about doing this video anyway, kind of without it. But essentially, by far, there's no question, I recommend the Galaxy Tab Pro 10.1 more. Here's why. The main reason I recommend it is the Note 10.1 was kind of just like done and forgotten about. There's no accessories really made for it. There's no keyboard cases made for it. I have a feeling that manufacturers will be more open to making keyboard cases for the Tab Pro because they've already made it for the Note and Tab 12.2 edition. So I have a feeling that more manufacturers will make it for the 10.1 as well. However, the main thing is that you're getting newer software. One of the biggest softwares that is not on the Note 10.1 2014 edition is HandCom Office. That in itself is well worth it to get the Tab Pro. It's so much better for that reason alone. I'm in love with HandCom Office. I have effectively not used my laptop for 3 weeks now. Ever since I have been using it, I've made PowerPoints on it. I've made Word documents for it, all for my work, and it's been perfect. So I'm a big believer in this. Definitely a big believer in it. I recommend anyone for these new Pro series. It can effectively replace your laptop for all internet, apps, and office purposes. It's fine. It works. So for productivity, it's amazing. Plus, the Note 10.1, I heard it did get better, but it did have a lot of glitches, which I have not seen on the Tab Pros. The Tab Pros have not had any kind of glitches on it. The only thing it does have is the only time you get lag on the new Tabs or the Note Pros is when two things. One, you use the My Magazine UX. I just effectively get rid of it. I can use like Nova or the Google Launcher, which I both have how to download on my YouTube channel. But either of those will erase that problem entirely. And the other thing is the little mini apps. Not the split screen. The split screen actually works fine, which is again impressive. But the mini apps no longer are still are not fluid, and that was an issue that the Note 10.1 had lots of stuttering on all of the split screen capability. So that is the difference from it. I was just looking at the comment section down below. Polaris Office Polaris Office is on the Note 10.1. Yes, it is, but Polaris Office does not compare at all. Polaris Office does not compare to HandCom Office. HandCom Office is, for all intents and purposes, Microsoft Office. And when I mean it's Microsoft Office, I'm saying that if you look at my walkthrough videos on it, you can do everything from watermarks to headers and footers. The formatting is perfect across Word and HandCom Word. It's just identical. I mean, if you look at it, you think you're looking at Microsoft Office. where Polaris was arguably about the same level as some of the apps you can get on Android on the Google Play Store for free. So because of that reason, yeah, it doesn't compare. It really doesn't. Don't get me wrong, I use the Note 10.1, and I was going to keep it, but once I found out that the Pro Series was coming out, I was like, no, I'm going to wait for the Pro Series and see what comes out. Not to mention, you just have newer software like KitKat on there, and the UI looks better. Everything is just more supported, and at the end of the day, I would recommend getting that. And especially, one thing I've come to find out, I have a keyboard and a mouse for my Note 12.2, and because of that, I'm actually myself going to downgrade to the Tab Pro 12.2. Because since I got the keyboard and mouse, I don't use the pen anymore. I really don't. I find myself using the pen hardly ever now, ever since I got the mouse. And now, if I was a Photoshop enthusiast on my tablet, that would not be the case. If I love to draw, love to do anything, or sign a lot of documents that I couldn't effectively do with a regular stylus instead of the S Pen, then by all means I would keep the Note. But because I do not do those things, I do not need the pen, and it's not as useful as on my Note 3 or as on my Note 8. So for that purpose, I do not see the pen as that much usefulness for me and my intensive purposes as I used to now that I have a keyboard and mouse. This is going to be the last question, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section down below, and then I will answer any other questions you guys have. And if not, make sure to email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and make sure the subject line is question. All right, dear Ricky, this is from Alvina Textiles. I hope I spelled that correctly. Or sorry, I pronounced that correctly. My Samsung Note 3 was connected to the TV as per your YouTube instructions, but now it's not connecting. What kind of suggestions? What would you suggest to me and how to do it? Okay, so this has happened sometimes, especially with the update. So if you updated your Note 3 recently and you're having this issue, this is probably why. So effectively, what you need to do is it's an annoying process. Let me see if I have my All Share with me. Sorry, this is why it's alive, guys. Okay, so this is the All Share adapter, which is how I'm guessing you're connecting your Note 3 to the TV, because you didn't say the All Share adapter, but I'm guessing this is what you're using to do it. So the All Share adapter has one button on the back, one button right there. This light is red when you plug it into the TV. You click the button and it's going to be flashing blue. When it flashes blue, that's when you go to your Note 3, and you go to screen mirroring. Once you tap screen mirroring, you're going to effectively find your All Share adapter and then click it after this is flashing blue. Once this is flashing blue, then you can connect, and then it should work fine. You have to do that. It's kind of like resetting this to once again realize how your device works. And once you do that, you effectively can connect wirelessly to your Note 3, no problem. All right, and that was the last viewer question. And now let's see in the comment section down below if we have any questions. All right, Sanjay Goku asks, you've been asking all the questions today. So you've asked me a couple questions. Am I hyped about the Oppo Find 7? I am. I am really, really interested to see what this has. I love the promotional thing that it had, where it had like the blue light underneath the phone. However, it's hard to get excited about some phones that are not in the U.S. Effectively, Oppo is really interesting, but it's not really big in the U.S. and we don't get it over here. So I can order it and get it over here if I really want to. But because I don't know if I'll be reviewing it. I've never done the Oppo lineup yet, and it's simply because the following isn't there. It's there among the techies like you and me. It's completely there among the techies. But outside of the techies, there's not really a following for it. It's like So because of that, I don't know if I'll be reviewing it. I think it's cool. I can't wait to see the 2K display and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm really kind of curious for that. So yes. And then you asked me another question. Is there any way to remote desktop uh, type interface from the Note 10.1 that supports the S Pen? Well, see, this is another interesting thing. See, the Tab Pro series has a built-in remote desktop that Samsung does. So Samsung is actually doing the remote desktoping, which of course will work the best. However, there's lots of third-party remote desktop apps. On the Note 12.2, by the way, I can use my S Pen for my remote desktop. I can entirely use it, so I can use that for all intents and purposes. And that's, again, say if I wanted to use a Photoshop document on my home computer with the S Pen, I can do that. And I actually have tried to play around with that, and it actually works fairly good. Again, I just have used my mouse more now, though. But for all intents and purposes, you can do that with the 12.2 Note. However, with the Note 10.1, it doesn't have a built-in one from Samsung, but you can get one that's different from other companies. However, if it supports the S Pen, it might not support the fine detail that the S Pen does, but the remote desktop app will see it as a input nonetheless. So it might not be pressure sensitive in any way, things like that, but you still can use it for all intents and purposes. So yes. All right. Any other questions, guys? Did you guys have? No. All right. Well, we might cut this one short then this week as well. If you had any questions, feel free to email me at asktheandroidguy@gmail.com, and I answer all of your questions as best I can every week. I try to get to about 5 questions. Try to do it every week. If you guys have any, please feel free to ask, and I will do my best to answer it. I will always answer questions live. As well, of course, for all of you guys that have those questions and you want the answer right then and there. Normally it's 8 p.m. every Sunday Pacific Coast time. However, if you caught my video earlier today, I did need to do it at 6 p.m. because I have a work event later on tonight for my regular job, and it's at 8 p.m. So I'm trying to record this. Literally, I'm going to record it, do a couple things, and then head out and drive about half an hour to get to this event. So yeah, I'm kind of running around today. But I wanted to make sure that I got this video out for you guys and I answered all of your questions. Every week, though, I will have this episode up, so please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And always give a thumbs up. It really does help out. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to ask. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy, and thanks for watching.